What it do? Welcome to Club 32, the Gridiron Podcast, the People's Podcast. We keep it real, no fluff, no filters. I'm your host, Ron. Came back on here to talk about the game until you come on here and do the same. I just came back to recap the matchup between the Houston Texans and the LA Chargers. Final score, Houston taking it 20 to the LA Chargers 16. We're going to dive straight into it. But before we do, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that bell so you can stay in the loop with Club 32. Houston out here bucking like bull riders, doing their thing, coming back in full attack to get where they want to be in place for the playoffs. Look, the Texans just completed their 8th consecutive victory, turning an early season 0-3 hole into an 11-5 finish and solidifying a postseason berth that has real momentum to it. That defense that they got over there in Houston is no joke, nothing to play with. Between that and the Browns, they might have one of the top defenses in the league at the moment, and I can't take anything from them. Even being a division rival, I have to show them love and at least show support. I don't give you too much love, but hey, you know anything, I ain't gonna be mad at you. Do what you do. Look, C.J. Stroud, he flashed elite big play ability, as we know. You know, with 2 explosive early touchdown strikes to rookies. You know what I'm saying? Yet he also, flashed some little risque behavior with some, 2 interceptions that nearly, cost Houston late in that contest. When you look at the Los Angeles and Chargers, and a lot of those opportunities that they failed to convert on, including missed kicks and how they had a lot of stalls in the red zone. I mean, ultimately, what they ended up doing was relinquishing a chance at the AFC West crown in front of their home crowd. It's not the direction that you want to go. But what we understand is that you have to be able to pull through this and you have to play within the rhythm that the offense is trying to build, because when it's tight like this, we understand that defense wins these tight games. The Texans, their defensive front battered Justin Herbert all afternoon, turning downfield pressure into 5 sacks and critical third down stops in clutch moments. This outcome further tightened the AFC wildcard picture. Houston, LA, and Buffalo are all tied at 11-5, but differing tiebreakers shape seeding heading into Week 18. A few takeaways from the game that I noticed. I noticed how Houston's offense, how the offense struck early and decisively. With Stroud connecting on a 75-yard touchdown to Jayden Higgins and a 43-yard touchdown to Jaylin Noel, both of them rookies, by the way, giving the Texans a commanding 14-0 lead. The Chargers responded cautiously. Los Angeles got on the board with a long field goal before halftime and a short touchdown rush in the third quarter, but turnovers and penalties happening throughout the game, it ultimately just derailed the rhythm that they were trying to build. And outside of that, like I was speaking on earlier, they have a lot of missed opportunities. The Chargers, special teams missed key points, including at least one extra point and a potential field goal that could have shifted the momentum late in the game in their favor. But when you're dealing with Houston's balanced attack, we've seen how Stroud's arm produced a lot of good yardage, a lot of swinging the momentum, keeping it in their favor, keeping it where they wanted it to be at. But the running backs led by Woody Marks provided consistent turn on the ground with 71 rushing yards, helping the Texans control clock and tempo. The clutch stops that I noticed from the defense, specifically like Houston's defensive line, they had a few multiple sack contributors. They limited Herbert's time and forced multiple third and long situations, ultimately preserving the narrow lead that they had. When you show up in these games and it's time to play, it's time to play. I mean, this could have been one of the closest things to a playoff game. I mean, 2 teams going in the playoffs, played each other 2 weeks before the playoffs. Seems pretty pivotal to me. It don't get more realer than this, other than the fact you continue to play next week. Because once we hit the game, that's it. Once we hit once we get into the dance, man, either you can 2-step or you can move left. Pick your poison and pick it wisely. Texans picks there, the Chargers pick there. Look like the Chargers ain't pay their light bill because it's lights out, baby. It's not as shocking as it could be. It's not electrifying. No, it's kind of satisfying when you can do better But hopefully that's what they'll do next week against Denver. They play Denver next week? We'll play Denver next week. No. Yeah. We'll play Denver next week. Yep. Because Kansas got the Raiders. I was ready to say Oakland. Tell you how old I am. I'm going to give out some of these player grades and see how some of these players actually perform from my perspective on how I would like to judge what I saw. And just show homage to where it needs to be shown. Homage and criticize where criticism is needed. And we start off with C.J. Stroud, Texas quarterback. I'm going to give him a B+. I think he deserves a B+. He went 16 out of 28 for 244 yards, 2 touchdowns, but 2 interceptions. And that's kind of what put him on that B+. Because, I mean, even though he had a good performance, the 2 interceptions is still the type of mistakes that you want to get away from, especially heading into the postseason as they start to build momentum into that direction. But looking at the game, Stroud's early touchdowns, it set the tone for sure. But the interceptions kept LA in the game late. And you don't want to give your opponent any opportunity to capitalize off of any mistake or put them in position to come back and potentially take the game from you. Moving on, Jayden Higgins, the wide receiver. I'm going to give him an A. He had 2 catches for 88 yards and a touchdown. Easy money. Big role rookie. Big play rookie. Big rookie doing big rookie things. I can't take it away from him. What a 75-yard touchdown that was game-changing. We saw it. I saw it. If not, go watch. Look, next person we're jumping up to is the next rookie, Jaylin Noel. I'm going to go ahead and give him an A-. He had 3 catches for 54 yards in the tug, complimentary of Higgins, and another explosive score. What else can you ask for, man? This late in the season, we're getting down to this December football, and we're really trying to make a push for something. That's what you want to see out of your team, and that's when the Texans showed up for this. As I mentioned the running backs earlier, Woody Marks for the Texans. Give him a B. On 19 carries, he had 71 yards. The ground game helped keep drives moving and help control the clock. That's what you want out of your running back. If he's not producing high and, touchdowns and affecting the score directly, then he can affect the momentum of the game. Like you said, time, possession, controlling the clock. It's all pivotal, especially in some of these tight games when it comes down to defense. When I look at the O-line for the Texans, I want to give him an A+. I mean, not A. A-. Let's do A-. Because they provided key protections with limited hurry opportunities, nonetheless, especially early. And the defense for the Texans, D-line, linebackers, I'm going to give them an A. Because they had 5 sacks and kept consistent pressure. A dominant front versus LA was exactly what we thought we were going to see heading into this contest. I knew it would be a hard one. Especially when you put that pressure on Herbert. And this is the front that had the ability to do so, as we can see from the result that lined up. And then if you're just looking at the secondary, I'm just going to give them a B-. I mean, they were opportunistic, but had coverage breakdowns. And they were kind of inconsistent on a few deep looks throughout the contest. On the other side of the ball, Justin Herbert, Chargers QB. I'm going to give him a B-. He went 21 for 32 for 236 yards, a touchdown, and an interception himself. He played tough, as we know Justin does. But, I think the broken hand might have been affecting him because those turnovers, it hurt. The turnover hurt. When you're trying to build, you can't give away. Omarion Hampton, Chargers running back. I'm going to give him a B. He scored late, but, moving the drives, adding to the scoreboard, playing physical. That's what you want to see. And for that, my man, you get that B. Then we look at the wide receiving group from the Chargers as a whole. I don't think anyone had any one specific performance that could stand out as amazing. But collectively, I'm going to give them a B. I'm going to give them a B- because they struggled to generate consistent separation, partly due to pressure, but they're definitely going to have to clean that up going into next week's contest against a formidable opponent, which, honestly, I mean, you always want to win, for sure. I mean, going there to win, but I would use this as a game to try to fix my mistakes. It's going to be a tough one against a divisional opponent, but, I mean, it wouldn't be no tougher than a playoff game. Maybe tougher. Who knows, nonetheless. But they're gonna get that for that. And the Chargers, their special teams unit, I'm gonna have to give them a C minus because they had a few missed extra points, and extra field goals, and those opportunities came back to bite them. And I mean that's what you need. We've seen, who was it? I want to say the Seahawks. See how pivotal kickers can be, how important they can be to controlling the tempo and winning games and moving forward. And the Chargers defense, I'm gonna give them a B. They were pretty decent on tackling, and they held. Ultimately they did hold the Texans to 20 points. They were just unable to flip key possessions, and that's what you need. These are the things that you need going into the postseason. You need these traits and abilities from your players and your team to be able to maneuver through difficult, situations that will arise in the big dance, man. So hopefully they can get that corrected moving forward, and I got faith that they will. But through it all, the Texans clinched the playoffs 3 years in a row. And with this win, I would have to assume that the Texans would enter Week 18 with going into Week 18 against the Colts. I mean, what do you do? I think they out, and you're in. Maybe they'll rest. Maybe they'll rest their starters. I don't see what they would have to fight for. Get healthy and get ready for the dance. Honestly, that's what I would do. Makes sense to me, but momentum matters, man. The Texans had an 8-game surge, man, a franchise milestone, to be honest, and it gives them the confidence and continuity headed into a pivotal regular season finale. Chargers are still alive, though. Los Angeles technically, retains a playoff spot, despite the loss, but the AFC West title slipped away, forcing them to treat Week 18 as a must-win wild card decider scenario for them. As far as Stroud's development, the duality in Stroud's performance, explosive plays mixed with, some risky decisions, highlights where the Texans must refine execution to win in this postseason. Like I said, you have to get it cleaned up moving forward. You started off rocky. You're not. The defense is doing its thing. The offense has to match, and they have been as of late. But just like anybody else in this league, you got to work on your mistakes and inconsistencies because you don't want that to come back to haunt you. I mean, quite frankly, like the missed opportunities and field goals that we had coming from the Chargers. Herbert, that dude, when it comes to that grit, though, I ain't gonna take nothing away from him. Like I remember a couple years ago I was watching him. I want to say it was Thursday night. He was playing the Chiefs, man. Herbert a lot tougher than people think, man. You know what I'm saying? He played tough through an injury. I mean, he had a broken hand. Like most people, they don't want to push. And there's a lot of competitive guys in the league. I'm not sitting here to say he's a man of steel or stone, but look, he's up there. He's that guy. He's tougher than you think, and don't underestimate young Justin because I'm pretty sure he'll surprise you if he hasn't already. But nonetheless, getting back to the actual game, because he was tough, like I said. But having all those turnovers and I said special teams with the missed kicks, and we can't have that. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of that might have overshadowed some of the gritty yards that they really grinded up to try to keep themselves in this game. But I think that they can take it as a sign that the Chargers may need a little bit cleaner execution late in games, especially, like I keep saying, moving into this postseason, it matters. And I mean, okay, so let's look at what's left. What's left for both of these teams? We look at the Houston Texans. They played the Colts next. Colts had their Rivers experiment. It was great to see him. He's in. He's out. Last game. And it is what it is. But the Texans, they finished their regular season, at home against the Colts. And that's a game that has huge implications for, let's say, their AFC seeding, because they're too even with a lot of other teams. The loss and then the win from the other teams could drop them a little further down. I mean, no, I think so, because I think the Jags got the one over them, so they're in the wild card. Yeah. But nonetheless, they're in the game. I think the biggest thing is to show up and perform. I don't think they're out here, shooting for no number one seed or home field advantage. I think they're beyond that. But they're good enough to get in the game and compete, and I think that's exactly what they will do. I mean, look, these boys riding an 8-game win streak. I would have to assume that their confidence is pretty high right now. They minimize the turnovers, and, as long as they can keep producing on third downs at the rate that they've been doing it, they should be okay. A strong finish could really help push them into the mindset that it would take for them to be tough through this postseason battle that they're going to face moving forward. I just think they need to have, they need to balance the explosive passing plays with disciplined game control, maintain defensive pressure and limit turnovers, and protect Stroud. Just protect Stroud on just protect him a little bit better on some of those intermediate dropbacks, and they should be fine. They should be just fine. When you look at the other side of the defense, and you look at the Chargers over here, they finished up at Denver, and the Chargers conclude their regular season against the AFC West champion, the Broncos. A tough road test, as we all know. Following this loss, Los Angeles must find answers against a rugged Denver defense and rebalance special teams efficiency. Even with the defeat here, they remain in playoff contention, via tiebreakers. But this week 18 matchup is effectively a do-or-die situation to secure a wild card berth. Are you telling me that Denver could potentially knock the Chargers out the playoffs? Playoffs? We're going to see. I really just think, though, the focus for the Chargers moving into these next few weeks is just to protect Herbert with the broken hand, especially when it gets cold and windy, in these mild, high conditions, you understand? It's not too good on your bones, Please convert the third downs and sustain drives. That's what you need to convert third downs and be able to sustain drives, especially in Denver's altitude we're traveling. Okay? Clean up the special teams execution to avoid giving points back. This isn't a giveaway. This is a takeaway. This is mine. What's the seagulls on Nemo with mine? This is mine. This is mine, not yours. Mine. Treat it as such. Take it as such. I believe in you, Justin. Keep doing your thing, bro. I'm going to leave y'all with this. I don't know what they got going on. This Week 17 showdown was less about spectacle and more about survival and trajectory. The Texans' early explosion and relentless defensive pressure carried them to a 20-16 road victory, reshaping the AFC playoff landscape and rewarding a franchise that refused to fold after a rough start. For the Chargers, it was a missed opportunity. One that exposes lingering special teams and execution issues, as I keep saying. And as they now embark on a win or go home final in Denver, in the trenches and on big plays alike, this game laid bare with what each team must tighten up on before January football truly begins. Wish all of them well. I have nothing against them. I like the Chargers more than I do the Texans because I'm a Titan, so never mind. That's another one for the books from Club 32. Whether you cheer or choke this week, we just break it down the only way we know how. Raw, real, no fluff, no filters. Thank you for coming through and rocking out with Club 32. We're just fans of the game that just talk about it until you come on here and do the same. And if you do want to get on in here and be a part of the show, well, just email us at club32gp@gmail.com. Subject line Club32Guest. Make sure to follow us on all social media platforms at Club32GP. Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, YouTube. We on it. Stay connected with the club for all of our NFL breakdowns and for your chance to be a guest on the show and represent your squad the way that they meant to be represented. Get it? Until next time, it's been real. And good luck with your team. Because we're going to talk about them too. Appreciate you. Be safe.